Alright, we're gonna do it. It's been a couple of days, so I'm gonna set the timer here and we'll go from there, yeah? Sorry, I was eating some cottage cheese, and I can just, in my, making sure I don't have cottage cheese in my teeth. I'm getting a timer going. Okay, so just so that I am not, I'm gonna put in a Werther's like an old lady in my mouth. So I took my first math test. It wasn't spectacular, but I didn't fail. So, and I got everything all lined up that could see the computer and the place I was working, and anyway, like I said, I passed. It wasn't spectacular, but I passed. And now I can know what to work for moving forward, Okay, and I went in for the job, so I'll be starting that soon, fingers crossed, because I am ready to do some allocation, fiat allocation, and digital currency allocation. Is it in my nose? Alright, so we're still in the same book, and we're going to read for 10 minutes. Here we go. Okay. It was a strange sight, and amused me so much that I quite insisted upon halting the wedding procession in order that I might observe it more closely. But the fair Rollabolla was very impatient and chided me and the managers of the wedding arrangements to hurry things up. King Bogugu, ever and anon turned an anxious eye toward the horizon, and then there would follow a whispered consultation with the soothsayers and magicians. Behold me at last mounted upon my scaffold. I had almost said, for such it seemed to be. A terrible tightening sensation took hold of my heart. The air seemed too heavy to breathe. I gasped like a fish thrown up on dry land. Let the marriage ceremony begin this instant, and move apace, roared Bogugu. Make ready, Tutulu, cried one of the royal counselors. I turned to survey the multitude, and then prostrated myself upon the platform under which the Princess Rollabolla was to pass. She has started. She comes like the wind. She is here. Such were the cries which arose from the vast multitude. With head and shoulders thrust through the opening of the platform, I awaited my bride with bated breath and thumping heart. Imagine my amazement when I saw her flash beneath me and disappear in the crowd of round bodies, almost like a ball from a cannon. I had scarcely felt her body as it had rolled beneath me. As for pinching her toe, that was certainly out of the question, seeing that I had only caught in a hurried glimpse of her white feet, and then all was gone. In an instant I was on my legs and advancing to the edge of the platform. I raised my hand to signify to King Bogugu that I desired to be heard. O King with the globe-shaped body, hearken unto me. I have been wronged. There is a vile treachery here. The judges of the land of Gojula have been corrupted. I demand their blood. Not only have I not pinched the little toe of the royal princess Rollabola, but my glasses look like they're gonna fall off. I look old lady, but honestly, if I have them like this, I can't see. So I've gotta do this while I read. You can tell I need to wash my face, yeah? Okay, I'm wasting time. I'm wasting time. At this instant, a deep rumbling noise, like a burst of distant artillery, cut short my harangue by setting the air into such violent vibration that my lips moved without making the slightest sound. The effect of this terrific boom upon the round bodies was astounding. The wildest confusion came upon them. In vain did King Bagugu command silence. They rocked like the waves of the sea when struck by a sudden blast. The most deafening groans and sighs rolled over the plains in a sort of half-tuneful unison. Their faces blanched, and they pressed together in the most abject fear. At last King Bagugu was himself again. And with a terrific voice awed his people into silence, crying out, "You go, Roland Pang. My people, the storm is upon us. Protect yourselves." More quickly than it takes me to tell it, the dreaded roar broke in upon the stilly air. The round bodies gathered their children and aged people into a group, and then formed double and triple walls about them. Tutulo, tutulo, it was Rollabola's voice. But other thoughts were in my mind at this dread moment. Again it sounded forth in the most piteous accents. Tutulo, tutulo. In that voice, now, the ears of the dead would have given more heed than mine. The storm fiend was galloping amain. Quicker than I thought, I swung myself down from the platform, and encircling Bulger with my left arm, made my way back again. The good dog was delighted to be with me again, although he was trembling like an aspen leaf at the distant sound of the winds. Super popular this morning. Quicker than I thought, I swung myself down from the platform and, encircling Bulger with my left arm, made my way back again. The good dog was delighted to be with me again, although he was trembling like an aspen leaf at the distant sound of the winds. He well knew what was coming, but look, the sunlight was gone. The very air seems affrighted. A terrifying tremor of the ground beneath us causes the soles of our feet to tingle and prickle. Tutulo, tutulo. It was Rollabola calling her lover away from the impending death which with the storm cloud was fraught. He was busy with one dearer to him than the weeping princess of the round bodies. Happily, the platform had been constructed by lashing together the uprights and flooring by means of hempen cords. To loosen one of these and bind Bulger and myself securely to the wooden structure was the work of a moment. The work of a moment. The round bodies had followed my movements in silence, fairly stricken dumb with amazement at what seemed to them the work of a madman. When they could find their tongues, they motioned me fiercely to leave the platform, crying some foreign language. What madness, what madness. But I was not mad. What is death but a thought? One may live and yet be dead. Look, the terrible storm king is coming. He is a greater monarch than thou, O mighty Bagugo. Too low, too low. It was the kind Rollabola's last farewell. From that moment, the roar of the coming gale drowned every sound of air, every sound of earth or its puny creatures. Look again. See the black monster? How he draws nearer and nearer, his huge, shapeless, terrible body rolling and swaying as he rides along on his black wings, while, like a gigantic serpent, his tail drags over the fair earth, hissing, writhing, and curling, now on this side, now on that, now coiling upward to gather strength, now beating and threshing the plain with a roar mighty enough to plunge the stoutest heart into despair. Ah, Boger, it comes, 'tis here, we move, it lifts us, away, away. We ride on the bosom of the gale. What a roar, how dark, how black. The storm king strangles me, Bulger and I die. Where am I? Ah, Bulger, good dog. Has the princess called us yet? King Bugogo comes today. We must amuse him. I made an effort to rise. The cords held me down. By degrees, the shadows lifted from my mind, and thoughts of the Storm King's coming flashed through my brain, and how he had lifted the platform upon which we were bound, and borne it away, away, as if the feather caught up by the wind and play. Something tickled my cheek. I raised my head. Oh, joy unutterable! It was grain. Aye, golden grain. Wheat ready for the sickle. We are saved. We must be near the habitations of man. And so we were. Nay, more. We were not 1,000 miles away from home. Thus it was a mightier king than Bugogo, one to whom in my despair I had appealed for aid, caught up my loved Bulger and me, bore us away from Gugugula, the land of the round bodies. And here I end my story. And here I end my story. Interesting. Interesting. That was page 203. And then page 204 is just this picture, and it says home at last. That's supposed to be the little Baron, and he's home after this adventure. And now we move into Baron Trump's marvelous underground journey. So that will be next, page 205. So I'm going to put a little marker there. Oh, okay, yep, and I got to read my, hold on. See, we got to keep things in order. Okay. I don't know why I pushed my glasses up. Quit procrastinating on anything and everything. Time wasted is just that, wasted. Avoid distractions and the noise around me. Block it all out. The art of continuous self-love through food, through water intake, through intentional meditation and thought. Something inside of me is superior to circumstance. Is it kind? Is it true? Does it reflect my authentic self? Focus more on money and its education. Focus more on self-discipline. See the sun, honor the moon. Forward momentum. The path out of hell is through misery, and I need to honor my journey. I am a slave to my own incessant urge to escape the present moment. Meditate, walk, journal, stretch, love animals, leave life to wonder all it needs. Less stress, more fairy tale. Work on bettering the love I show my body through the food and beverage I put in it. With money, it's not what you make, but what you keep. Focus. Lose any ties to victim mentality. Continue to help yourself. All right, well, there you have it. Page 205, next time I see y'all.